Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Freaky Tales on this Saturday evening. I was actually supposed to be at two events. I had two events that I had to attend, but I decided not to go. One was 2 hours away, and the other one was pretty much down the street here in Long Beach. So I decided I can go to the one in Long Beach or to the one 2 hours away, or I could stay here and chat with you guys on Freaky Tales. So I decided to stay here. We won't be on too long. But you know what? I did want to come on and talk about a subject that I find very, very interesting, and I think you guys are going to be able to find it freaky as well. But once again, I want to thank everybody on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat, who likes to watch the show without the live chat, without being bothered. Also, those that are like, comment, and subscribe, all of our new subscribers, welcome. And all the ones that are not watching live, but will probably watch later on tonight or tomorrow. Much love and respect to you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Freaky Tales. Today, I wanted to talk about mirrors. Mirrors. Some people say that mirrors could open up portals. Some people say that mirrors, you know, when I think of a mirror, I mean, I guess I don't get too freaky with it. I like to see my own reflection. You want to see if you need a shave, or maybe some of you women want to see if you guys need more makeup, less makeup, you know. How does your hair look today? You know, stuff like that. But I think mirror is a good thing. I see movies at times when a child looks at himself in the mirror for the first time. And then you also see these other movies where somebody's looking in the mirror and walks away and that image is still there. So I think to a certain extent, some of these mirrors are pretty freaky. They're pretty out there. I seen this one, and Norbert, welcome.
Hey.
Have you seen, Norbert, where somebody would place something in front of a mirror? Okay, give me an example. Say that I am standing in front of a mirror.
Yeah.
And let's just say I take, I don't know, a lipstick, because that's what the lady did. She placed a lipstick, and then she covered it in front.
Yeah.
With a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So now the mirror cannot see the lipstick in back of the piece of paper.
Yeah.
So she actually walks to the side.
Yeah.
And she could still see the mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, the reflection of the lipstick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that video.
How does that happen?
I don't believe it, Tony.
I
gotta see it for myself. We gotta do it.
We gotta try it, right?
We gotta try it and maybe do a video clip, because it's hard for me to believe that's real. I mean, if that's real, my whole world is gonna go upside down. I'll tell you that much right now. If that happens and we put like a piece of paper and somehow, some way, we look at the side of that thing and we could still see that lipstick.
Pretty freaky, huh?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Reality is gonna have new meaning.
Yes. So, however, mirrors have been associated with superstitions and spooky stories. For an example, a broken mirror. I believe we placed that question on the poll.
Yes.
A broken mirror. In some superstitions, breaking a mirror will result in bad luck, such as 7 years of poverty. So now let me say this, because I've been hearing that one, Norbert, since I've been a kid.
Yeah, same here.
You know, we say that if you break a mirror, 7 years bad luck. My question, because I've always been a skeptic of everything.
Yeah.
Who gives you those 7 years? Where did that originate from? Who did that first start with? And at what point does the 7 years begin? At the moment that it breaks? And how do you know it's over?
Man, I don't know, but now you made me think. That's something we definitely need to delve into, as far as like where that all started.
Right.
I mean, the oldest mirrors, I would want to say, would have to be. Well, I know the Indians from India. Right. I know they have a way of making mirrors without using glass. It's not a mirror that's out of glass, but
yes, it's
something that they polish so well that it's as clear as a mirror, and that is what they use over there.
Yes.
But as far as like a made mirror, I don't know where that's at. And how do we know they're not talking about that one? If you break that one, you know, that could happen. But I believe those mirrors are made out of some type of hard metal, not metal, but like a hard mineral
Yes.
That if you buff it just enough, it looks like a mirror. You could see yourself.
Yeah, you can see your reflection. You know, I've seen in movies where people would polish something that looked almost like a tray, but it was kind of like a mirror, and then they would put it up. It almost looked like if it was copper or something like that, and they would polish it up and that to get their own reflection.
Yeah.
You know, now can you imagine, now just for a second, guys, imagine never have seen yourself in the mirror. And now being an older person, you see yourself for the first time. Would you like what you saw?
Damn.
Think about that for a second, guys.
That's crazy.
I mean, we look in the mirror, you know, and a woman will say, I think I need a little bit more lipstick, or I need a little bit more makeup. I need to dye my hair. I need to do my lashes or whatnot. Us men, do I shave or do I trim my beard? Do I dye my beard? Do I cut my hair? That's what most men would do when you look in the mirror. Today, sad to say that most women would look at their face, and these women, not all women, so please women, but most women, I need Botox. I need fake, cheekbones.
Yeah.
I need eyelashes. I need to get my nose pierced. I need to get my tongue pierced. You know, I need to get my neck cut off because I got too much double chin. And we use these mirrors for a reflection on how we think we ought to look. You know, I want to say this, and I want to repeat it again, Norbert, because I believe it's worth repeating. Somebody asked me one time about a certain woman.
All right.
And they asked me, because she's, by the world standards, she's a very attractive girl.
Yeah.
Like most people would look at Kim Kardashian and think that's what a woman should look like.
No.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody asked me about a certain individual. Do I think that she's a beautiful woman? And I'll tell you exactly what I said. I don't know. I haven't had a conversation with her yet.
Damn, that part right there.
You know why? Because the beauty comes from within.
Definitely.
The beauty comes from within. When you shine from within, you don't need a spotlight. Think about that. And something beautiful does not beg for attention.
Now, would you add action to that?
Action, if you can elaborate a little bit.
Like, let's say somebody points out a girl and you see her like maybe helping out the poor and giving them food. Now, does that make her attractive in a sense, the way she would be inside also? Meaning like she somebody that's a woman that might be charitable and that you could clearly see they're charitable.
Well, I would believe, yeah, because her actions, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this other question that I wanted to ask you earlier. Do you remember if you saw yourself first in a mirror or in a picture?
Oh, that's a very good question. That's a very, very good question. I would probably have to say, Norbert, I would probably have to say maybe a picture.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think I want to say from my point of view, from my own personal life, school pictures.
Yes.
That's probably the only time because
I
didn't comb my hair. My mom combed my hair. And, that's
it. Yeah. Mom's comb my hair too. But today we look at ourselves in the mirror and do I look good? My shirt wrinkled? Do I need to iron it, etc.? But let's move on when it pertains to mirrors. Once again, some people would say that mirrors can trap souls. Mirrors can trap souls. And some superstitions, mirrors can trap souls that should be moving on to the next realm after death. Okay. So let's bring up the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves, which in my opinion, it's a really, really good movie. If you guys have not seen it, definitely check that out. You guys will definitely be entertained. Now, there's a scene in this movie that has never left me, and I've always wanted to use it. And now, since we're talking about mirrors, I'm glad we can actually bring it up. But once again, Constantine, Keanu Reeves, he's actually destined in this, according to this movie, destined for hell. And meanwhile, they know that he can cast out demons out of people. And in this scene, we're going to show you how he trapped an entity, a demon, whatever you want to call it, into a mirror. So let's go ahead, and I may ask you to to pause it for a second, but go ahead and play it. And when I ask you to pause it, go for it. But this is the scene. Constantine, you guys, pay close attention, and then we'll elaborate.
You want to put the headphones on or your?
No, it's okay. I got it.
Hey, cars move.
Okay. So they're bringing a demonically possessed girl to him. Now, as you're going to see in a minute, there's going to be a priest there, but they don't call on the priest. They call on Keanu Reeves. That's the priest. Okay. And look at how they have the mirror above him. This is the demonically possessed girl. Now, stop it right there. Okay. Now, according to some religions, laying on hands is transferring power, and at times it is also can heal, deliver, and cast out by the laying on of hands. And you notice that that's what he does. He has the mirror above him, and he has it there for a reason. But go ahead.
That's crazy. That's
the crazy part, because this guy gets so scared that his hair turns white, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So go for it. Finish.
But let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Now, when the demon was looking at himself, is that because demons are known to have vanity?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, according to the scriptures, okay?
Yeah.
Satan allowed his pride and his beauty to get in the way of serving God, and he was cast down. He was cast down because of his pride and beauty. And look at all of Hollywood today. Prideful and beautiful, according to them.
Facts. Okay?
So that's how the devil, according to the scriptures, that's how he works. Right. Pride and beauty. So you see that demon was pretty much admiring himself in the mirror.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, she's really smiling at herself. Like, man, she loves the image of herself.
Yeah, now go for it. Entity is cast out.
That's crazy.
Now, that was a really, really crazy part. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Norbert. I really wish that some people could look at themselves in the mirror. Let's go to the next picture. Could look at themselves in the mirror and see for who they really are. Can you read that for us, please?
I wish some people could actually see their personality when they look in a mirror.
Think about that for a second. If Richard Ramirez's spiritual eyes were open and he looked at himself in the mirror and he was actually able to see who he is in the inside, what do you think he would see? And do you think he would be frightened?
Honestly, I think he might react the same way that demon reacted when he looked at himself.
Yeah, you never know these days.
With a smile and the joy.
Because there's people that do admire their work.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to remember this, what Gil Carrillo said. He said, it was sex to him. Sex is whatever makes you feel good. So he kept doing it. Taking people out made him feel good. Striking fear into these people made him feel good.
Now, he said that, but do you know what he actually said for himself as far as why he did it?
No. You know, one thing about Gil Carrillo, and once again, for those of you that are tuning in, Gil Carrillo was one of the police officers that helped bring Richard Ramirez to justice. Okay, and he spoke one-on-one a lot with Richard Ramirez and was there in court. Now, keep in mind, Norbert, a lot of people forget about this because we think he's older. He was only 25 years old.
Yeah.
Serial killer.
Yeah.
Okay, and he would always, Gil would tell me, I don't care what he was involved in. I didn't ask him why he did it. I just wanted to make sure he got the justice that he deserved.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I mean, and it's true, he's doing his job, but as a man, I would want to know what ticks, because let me tell you something. Say that Richard said certain things and I caught on to it.
Yeah.
And I talk to another individual and I start to see the same thing, I could possibly prevent him from doing something. That's why I would have wanted to study or at least talk to Richard, like what made him tick.
I think the FBI does that. All these movies, not movies, but shows that I see that have to do with FBI and their investigation, they always have somebody to analyze the person.
Yes.
To what you just said, what ticks them, what makes them do what they do. I don't think it's in the budget here in LA to have somebody that's willing to do that kind of work.
Right. Let's go to the next picture, and then I'll continue to elaborate here. Okay. The next one is a woman looking at herself in the mirror once again, and this is just not to pick on women. I try to find some of men because I don't want people to say, "Why are you only talking about women?" That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you can spiritually see yourself for who you are, would it frighten you? Si eres un hombre malo, un hombre bueno. If you're a good man or a bad man, I really wish that somehow your spiritual eyes can be open, that when you look in the mirror, you would see who you really are. Because let me tell you something, that mirror could be cold-blooded. You can lie to your family, you can lie to your friends, you can lie on social media, but that mirror is cold-blooded. It will tell you exactly who you are when you look into it. You know, there's times in my life, Norbert, where mostly in my early 20s, where I know I fell short. I disappointed people. My life wasn't going in the right direction. And I had to look at my reflection in the mirror. And I found the words, and I found something in me to encourage myself to be a better father, to be a better son, to be a better friend. Because in my 20s, I was always angry, and I never knew why. I didn't know why. Every time I would be around friends, it would just come out. The anger would come out. I started lashing out at people, and I didn't know what was triggering me. But when I looked at myself in the mirror, I could have said, so what? Who cares? I am the way I am. No. But I looked at myself, and I said, I need to change. I need to change. And I know there's people that are looking themselves in the mirror and realize that you don't like what you see. I wish that God would open up your spiritual eyes so you can see who you really are. Let's go to the next one. Here we are once again, even though this is just a drawing, but I do believe that there are people that are just dead inside. There's nothing that they can give you. You know, I've known men that have been in multiple relationships, married up to 4 times. And I believe that broken man, he's just going to continue to repeat that cycle. Why? Because he's broken. And he continues to repeat the same thing with all these women, or these women, same way. They're just dead inside. They have nothing to offer you. Men see it and like, okay, the sex must be good. Let's do it. Let's jump into it. Before you know it, you see a bunch of red flags. The relationship's toxic. You guys break up. She moves on to the next one. Why? Because she's broken. She has to look at herself in the mirror and realize who you are and how you need to fix it. So sometimes mirrors can really, really benefit us when you sit there and really analyze who you are and who you are. And you know what? I want to say this. When we open up the phone calls, I want somebody to call in and let us know if you ever saw anything that helped you change your life when you looked at yourself in the mirror, or maybe you might have saw something supernatural in the mirror. And since we're talking about supernatural, since we're talking about spooky stories, freaky stories, another mirror story would be the whole Bloody Mary thing.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And some superstitions saying the name Bloody Mary 3 times in front of a mirror will summon a murderous witch. Now, I'll be honest with you, Norbert, I've tried that.
Where and what year?
You know, I've tried that, and I'll tell you what happened. We were living at that house where I used to make my mixtapes, you know, with Dre, that old house.
Yeah.
Most of you guys that have seen the hood vlogs, my hood vlog, I showed the house where I once lived and where I grew up. And I knew there was something really, really freaky about that house. I wasn't a spiritual guru, but I felt it, okay? Yeah. I came home drunk. I want to say I was probably 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, I came home drunk. I remember that day I got into an argument with my mother, and she didn't want me to go out, and I just left. Like most of us did, we rebelled. We knew what was right, but we decided to rebel. And I left, and my friends bought me a 40 ounce, and we were just taking shots of Jack Daniels, anything to get us tore up. We barely had enough money. And I remember I would come in through the back of the house. I wouldn't come in through the front door. I didn't want to wake up my mother and my father. But I remember when I went to the back of my house, my garage was detached from my house. And I would always look in the garage, and I knew there was something like, you know what? It was just so thick that I felt it crawling on my skin every time I looked into that garage. So I challenged myself, drunk, to go into that garage where it was completely dark and just stand there and try to beat my fears. Well, I didn't make it all the way in. I was too scared. So you know what I said? Let me try this whole Bloody Mary thing. So I remember I walked into the restroom. This was my mom and dad's restroom. It's in between my sister's room and my mom and dad's restroom. So I walked in there real quiet, and I closed the door, and I put the lock on. And I stood, and I remember standing there. I closed the little blind so it could get darker. Okay.
Well, now, this was while you were 18, 19, right?
18, 19 years old,
All
yes.
right.
I'm drunk, Norbert, and I remember I was stumbling. I was like this. I could barely hold myself up.
Yeah.
And I remember I said, I'm going to beat my fears. So I said 3 times, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And I waited and I stared into the mirror. And I want to say within about maybe 30 seconds tops, something small about the size of a marble started to form, like a little tiny, like a fog. And it started getting bigger, and it started getting bigger. And the bigger it got, it started getting whiter. Not whiter, but white, as in white. Started getting more white. It started off almost gray, started getting bigger. And that's when I just got scared. I turned on the light, opened the door, and I got out. I saw something. Now, somebody may say, you know, were you drunk? Yeah, I was drunk. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Was I hallucinating? Maybe because it was just too dark? Possibly. I don't know, but that's what I did see. I've never did drugs, never smoked weed. I tried smoking weed twice. I hit a puff 1 year, and then the next 2 years I hit 1 puff. Never smoked a cigarette, never been involved in that kind of stuff. And that's what I saw. Is it real? I don't know. I don't know if Bloody Mary's real.
Sheesh.
Have you ever tried that, Norbert?
No, man, I know, because I truly did believe there were witches out there. There's still witches out here, like real witches that, you know, roam around on the streets at night.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Now, there are some, once again, more spooky stories out there about haunted mirrors. Some people will say that mirrors are haunted. For an example, some mirrors have been associated with spooky stories, such as a tombstone-shaped mirror that once belonged to Bela Lugosi. Do you know who Bela Lugosi is?
That's the guy that played the vampire, right?
He played Dracula. Okay. Bela Lugosi, he owned a mirror that was like shaped like a tombstone. He would always look at himself in that mirror. Okay. Now, I do want to say this. I don't know if it was his pride or did he really believe that he was a vampire, because when he was buried, he asked to be buried in his costume.
Damn.
Okay. Now, I knew that he hated, like Boris Karloff. He hated other actors that played a vampire role.
Ah.
He believed that he was the vampire, which I believe he is. Bela Lugosi's classic. Then you have Boris Karloff, who played Frankenstein. But Boris Karloff, even at times, played a vampire. Bela Lugosi didn't like it. They were always in competition for parts. And then you had Lon Chaney. Lon Chaney would play a werewolf in these black and white horror movies. But they said that Bela Lugosi always had a hate relationship with Boris Karloff. Okay? So when he died, he wanted that image, that vampire, to die with him. So he said, I'm going to go out with a bang, put my costume on me. And you know what? It's sad to say, he was a tecato. He was a hype. He's Bela Lugosi used to shoot up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to shoot up. You know who did a great movie about him? I'm trying to remember the name. I don't know if it was Tim Burton or not, but he used Johnny Depp to play a guy named Ed Wood. He was considered one of the worst directors in Hollywood. Black and white movie, but this movie was actually done very, very well. So if you guys get a chance, look up a movie called Ed Wood. It's a true story about a guy that would actually dress up like a woman under his men's clothes to feel closer to women and direct. And that's what he would do. So, yeah, it was a really, really good movie. Weird movie. I don't know if the guy was trans or he just liked dressing like a woman. This guy Ed Wood, and they used Martin Landau. Is that his name, Martin Landau, to play Bella?
Yeah, Martin Landau. Yeah.
Martin Landau did an amazing job playing Bella Lugosi, and in this movie, you do see the tombstone-shaped mirror. So now that you know the background of this mirror, Norbert, would you like to own a mirror that was owned by somebody like this?
Hell no, I don't even have a mirror in my room.
Okay.
Wait, I mean, do you have a mirror in your room?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do.
I can't, bro. I don't know. I'll be honest. For some reason, I don't know. It freaks me out. Like I feel like people shouldn't have mirrors in their rooms. I don't know why. It's just an odd feeling.
Okay. Yeah, I like, to me, if somebody wanted to give me that mirror that once belonged to Bella, I don't think I could take it.
Really?
Yeah, I just wouldn't want it, especially knowing the stuff that he was involved in. You know, because you think about this. If he was really, really angry, if he was really jealous or prideful that he was the only vampire and he would shoot up, we don't know what went on in his house behind closed doors, that possibly those energies are attached to his furniture. So I wouldn't want something like that in my home. That sounds like something that belongs in a Zach Baggins museum.
Yeah. So you're telling me if they told you, yeah, Tony, so Bela Lugosi left us in the will that you should have his mirror and we want to send it to you. Are you going to accept it and I would say probably maybe to auction it off, or you're just going to say no completely?
I would say no completely.
You wouldn't auction it off?
No, I wouldn't want it.
Like, can you send it to an auction house and then send me the money?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it. So, here's another one. Mirrors in haunted houses. Okay.
Yeah.
In some haunted houses, mirrors are covered to prevent the souls of the deceased from getting trapped. Okay. So obviously there are some superstitions out there that some people believe.
Yeah.
You know, about mirrors. Like yourself, for some reason, you don't have a mirror in your room.
Yeah.
You know, is there one more picture up there?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. And meanwhile, will you bring that up? And other beliefs, okay, in Hindus, mirrors are thought to ward off evil spirits and bring good luck. To ward off evil spirits and bring good luck. In Judaism, mirrors have been used to do good, and breaking a mirror is not believed to harm the soul. Okay.
Oh, you know what? It's crazy, Tony, because these are the mirrors I was talking to you about, that they polish up so much that you see the
Bring it up on the
reflection.
screen so people can see it when you get a chance.
All right.
Okay. Now, here's something. It says, what is the dark truth about mirrors? Many cultures, religions, and superstitions warn against gazing in a mirror too long at night, cautioning that it can inadvertently invite demonic spirits, allow undesirable entities to manifest themselves, or even be used as a window or a portal to the underworld itself. Now, I've heard of that. And the reason why I brought up that movie, Constantine, because in the movie, they used that mirror to trap an evil spirit. Now, here what it's saying, that it can actually be used as a portal for something to come through. Can I say if that's true? I don't know. You could take down the top one now. I think people get the hint. Is there another one, or is that pretty much it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay, so you could elaborate a little bit on that for those that are just tuned in.
Yeah, so they have this ancient tradition of using this type of, I don't know, I want to say mineral, and they just, from what I remember in the video, how they make it, they grind it up, and then they make it solid, and then they buff it so much that you can see a clear reflection, like if it was a mirror, but there's no glass involved.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're all made, but they're all handmade also. None of these have ever been like manufactured. So when you buy one of these mirrors, they're handmade.
Yeah.
So I thought that was crazy that you brought that up, and I had mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay. Let me Let's see. Okay.
Okay.
As far as mirrors are concerned, I don't know if are there portals. I mean, maybe it was just good for the movie that they used it. I don't know. The only evil thing that I've ever seen was when I thought I saw something when I said Bloody Mary 3 times. And by the way, that was probably around 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when I did that.
Damn. The witching hour, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't play around with stuff like that because what if it is real? You don't know what you could be summoning. I just don't play around like that. Like, let me ask you this, Norbert,
Yeah.
and I believe that you'll give me a fair enough answer.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there is somewhat power in those reading of the tarot cards? Do you believe that there is some type of truth to that?
I think, yeah, I think.
Possibly, right?
I think so. I think it has as much connection as you know how people throw those what you call chicken bones,
Right.
or pieces of sticks.
Yeah, right.
I think somehow, some way, when you connect things to each other, it just changes things.
Okay, so you're pretty much saying I didn't quite get what you meant by that.
Sorry. I lost my train of thought.
Okay, because you're over there looking at your phone, and I need you to pay attention to Freaky Tales. We're talking about mirrors. So my question, once again, is this. Do you believe that there is some type of power in reading of those cards, those tarot cards?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I do because I feel like there's everywhere around us, there's some type of energy.
Yeah.
There's strings all over us that connect all of us together. We can't see them,
Right.
but we know they're there. These
Okay.
connections to like people, to life, to energies. People will call them energies.
Right.
And I feel like if somebody focuses enough on, let's say, those cards or those pieces of sticks or whatever they use,
Right.
it gathers itself from those energies that might in some way tell you how your path might be already laid.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how I was.
Okay. You could have kept it short. It's either yes or no.
I gotta explain.
Okay. I believe that's how simple it is. I believe that there is something dark attached to that, whether it be shells, whether it be tarot cards, whether it be palm reading. I do believe that there is something dark behind that. Okay. Now, there are just some things that I just won't play with. For an example, Norbert, would you be willing to get your palm read live on Freaky Tales?
Live on Freaky Tales? I thought you were gonna say
No, live on Freaky Tales, either yes or no.
no.
Okay. Now, explain to us why you wouldn't.
I've already had it done twice.
Okay, and what was the reason and what were the results?
One said I should have. Well, both of them said I should have been gone a long time ago.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, but how did they say it to you? That's what I'm asking. I mean, you're too busy on your phone over there, Norbert, and I'm asking you to elaborate.
Sorry. They told me that that I had to this age and that was it. It was a done deal. It's a wrap.
But isn't it always? But don't they always have like good fortune?
Not for me. And then and also, like I said, they both said the same thing, different occasions.
That you should have been taken out already.
Yeah, I should have been taken out. Thankfully, that hasn't come about. It hasn't been
Right. I'll tell you the freakiest thing that happened to me, and this was no fortune teller, okay? And I need you to pay attention because I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure. Sorry about that.
Okay, this is like the 5th time I've asked you to please.
Hey, Jedi, stop messaging me.
Okay, so we could just cut it, guys. And honestly, we could just cut it seriously because I'm trying to have dialogue. Okay. One of my buddies years ago invited me to a church service. I want to say this was probably 92. No, let me back that up because I started touring late 91 and all of 92. So I want to say this was probably early 1990. And during that time, Norbert, I was nickel and diming in an alley slanging dope. Okay. I was never a big drug dealer. I never claimed to be. Never claimed to be a gangbanger or any of that stuff. I'm not going to glorify any of that stuff that could have had me killed or landed me in jail. But I used to slang out of an alley. We used to call the alley the gold mine. Every night I would make at least $500.
Damn.
Okay, every night, 1990.
Damn.
And I would wear a black beanie, a black jacket, mostly all black, so that the cops couldn't see me if I wanted to hide in, behind a bush if they came by. Only people that I knew were there were the people that I was selling crack to. Well, one day my friend invited me. He cared about me, and he said, "Hey, man, come with me to church. Come with me to church." He was a Christian. He used to be a Catholic, so I decided to go with him. And when we got in the car, he said, "What made you decide to go to church with me today?" And I said, "I don't know, bro. Something weird happened to me. I've been having these dreams." And he asked me, "Well, what are these dreams?" And I said, "That somebody stabs me in the back with a knife and robs me, takes my money and my dope." And he goes, "Why would that be odd for you? I mean, why did that bother you?" And I said, "Well, because I don't want to be stabbed. I'd rather be shot. Make it quick. If you're going to rob me, rob me." And that's the foolishness that I thought when I was that young.
Damn.
Okay? So now, go to church. I'm sitting there, and this preacher, he's yelling. Okay? He's yelling. And he's preaching, and I'm just listening. I'm agreeing with some of the stuff that he's saying. And I guess when he asked everybody up to come up, there was maybe 500 people at that church at that time.
That's a lot of people.
It was a lot of people, okay? The capacity there, I remember because I looked in the back of the church and it said 750. That was the capacity. So they were short 250 people. So I sat there and I noticed that he was a black man and he kept staring at me. And I'm like, man, that guy keeps staring at me for some crazy reason. So he pulls me aside and he asks me, "Can I talk to you?" Now, keep in mind, Norbert, this is after the church service, right?
Right.
And he looked at me and he shook my hand and he kept holding on to it as if he was grabbing or, if you will, feeding off of my energy somehow.
What?
And yeah, he just shaking my hand and he's looking at me eye to eye. And I'm thinking the hell did I do? Do I know this guy? And my friend John is standing right next to me. And this guy's and he's looking, excuse me. And, oh man, give me a second.
Bro, that's weird that he's just shaking your hand like that.
Yeah, so it's almost like he's reading something.
Oh.
And he's looking at me and he finally said this, "Okay, you're not here by mistake today." And I'm thinking to myself, anybody could tell me that, but here's where he freaked me out. And I never forgot this. He said, "You're here today for a reason." And I'm waiting for the punchline. And he said this: "If you would not have been here today." Now, keep in mind before I tell you guys this guy was a guest speaker from San Francisco. So this was not, he was not the pastor. I didn't know this man. "You are here for a reason. I'm going to tell you what I saw when I shook your hand." And he said, "I saw your face on the ground in a dark alley. Somebody has stabbed you in the back and robbed you."
Damn. What the fuck?
That's what he told me. He said, "So you are here for a specific reason." He goes, "Is this the man that brought you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's my friend John." He goes, "Where did you pick him up at?" He goes, "In the alley." That's all he said, bro.
What?
He shook my hand and walked away.
You remember his name?
Yes.
Oh, you do remember his
Yes. If I tell you his name, you're going to trip out his first name.
name? Tonyo.
Ready?
Yeah.
Moses.
What?
Moses Hightower.
Jeez.
He was a black man, a black preacher from San Francisco.
Originated in San Francisco?
I believe so. That's all I remember. Yes.
That's a strong name.
Yes, and he read that, and it scared me, man. It really scared, because I had been dreaming that.
That's hella freaky.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I went home, and you know what I did? I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, "You got to get your life together."
Damn.
And you know what happened?
What?
The next day, My mom finds my dope. She finds my money, burns the money, flushes the dope down the toilet, and kicks me out. I remember what I was wearing. I was wearing some black Nike Cortez, some green Ben Davis. I had a tank top, and my wrist was broken. I still had a cast. And exactly what I had on, she said, "You're not taking nothing with you. Get out of here." Okay? I was out on the streets for about a week. I went to go talk to a brother that I hadn't talked to in over 5 years. Okay? Because I thought I had it all together. And you know what he told me? Go look in the mirror and tell me what you see. And that's why I shared this story. Because that day was the day that I woke up. And I said, I got to get my life together. Because what I saw, I didn't like.
Damn. Okay, full circle on that one, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So mirrors can be a blessing. And for some people, it could possibly be a curse because you're not going to like what you see. Especially if your spiritual eyes were opened and you see who you really, truly are on the inside. So, anyways, Norbert, anything you care to add to that before we open up and take a couple of phone calls?
Yeah, man, that's deep. I mean, that at least it's good that you were able to see that deep into your own life. To question it, because some people they didn't stop, and I think we all know what happened to them. You know?
Yeah,
they kept going, and for you to see that, you didn't once think like, "Damn, maybe I shouldn't have gone to that church."
No.
No.
I don't believe. Always remember this. This is where I stand. I don't believe in coincidences. There are certain people that are brought into your life for a certain reason. There are certain people that are brought into your life maybe just for a time. It could be a year. It could be 4 years. It could be 6 months, and then they move on. But they're there to bless you, to encourage you, and motivate you. Then, look, let me tell you something. You got to choose your friends wisely, man.
That part right there.
You got to choose your friends wisely. Because the ones that care about you, the ones that love you, are the ones that are going to stick to you through thick and thin.
100 on that one.
You know, let me tell you something. One day that I had a talk with my son, and my love for him and the love that he had for me went up another level. One day he told me about something that he did that he wasn't proud of. And I'm not going to share what he did, but it was something that could have landed him in jail. Okay?
Yeah.
So I just listened to him. As a parent, I learned to be a good listener. You know, when I look at my son's face, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror, bro.
Yeah.
Okay? And he told me this, Dad, I'm just very shameful, and I just wanted to admit that to you, that I'm sorry, Dad, that I failed you. That's what he told me. I said, okay, mijo. Now, I didn't sit there and say, I told you, you're a dumbass. I didn't sit there and say none of that. Why? Because he was already broken over what he did. He just needed to talk to me. He just needed me to listen. So here's what I said, mijo, I love you so much. Okay? I don't care who comes against you. I love you so much that I will always protect you. In public, I will protect you. But behind closed doors, me and you are going to fix this. And you're going to hear it from me. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. But I love them enough to at least scold them. You know, they say you spare the rod. Some people say you spoil the child. But the true translation, you spare the rod, you destroy the child. There has to be discipline. And it's been plenty of times that I had to discipline my son behind closed doors. And I never allowed his friends to know about it or to see it. I remember he went to county jail. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this. Because somebody out there needs to hear this. My son went to county jail, and I heard that some of his friends laughed at him because he was the only one that got caught of what they did. He was in there a whole month. I remember he called me, and he just tells me, hey, you know what? I don't need you to bail me out. I'm going to be out soon. 1 month later, he tells me, Daddy, can you please get me out of here? Went out there and got him out. He hadn't shaved. He hadn't combed his hair. He stunk. You know what I did? I ironed his clothes before he got home. I put his cologne on his bed. Put so that he can shave in the bathroom. Wash up. I'm going to cut your hair. You're going to shave. I don't want your friends to see you like this. You're better than this. You're better than that guy that went to jail. And you know what he did? He changed.
That's good.
He looked at himself in the mirror and he changed because he was bringing disappointment not only to himself first, but also to his family. He was bringing shame upon the family. So many of us need to look at ourselves in the mirror, okay? And if you don't like what you see, then change it. I didn't think that this episode was going to go this route, but it did. And if it helped and blessed someone, then so be it. Then mission accomplished.
I mean, it's just crazy how it all locks into, mirrors, seeing yourself, the inside and reflecting on your own self.
Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone here in the live chat or whoever's watching this at one point stared themselves in the mirror and asked themselves, am I doing right or am I fucking up?
Yes. I agree. So, but, I do want to say this, Norbert, and we'll open up the phone lines. There are some people that are just dead inside, man, and they are no good. They are just no good.
Yeah, that's true.
When they open their mouth, they'll tell you exactly who they are. You don't have to ask questions. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So whatever's here, it's going to come out through here. If it's just pure hate, if all they're doing is sowing discord among the brethren, spreading gossip, spreading lies, damning and condemning everyone that doesn't move like them, it's not good. It's not good. Now, if you listen to someone, blesses you, encourages you, motivates you to do better, then you listen. I want to give a shout out to somebody that called me, and I want to first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Jen from Passion Town. I'm also going to give him another shout out tomorrow because you'll be listening tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
But Jen from Passion Town probably got the hottest clothes in the whole harbor area. You want to get your Ben Davies, your Dickies, your socks, your drawers, your shirts, whatever. You go to Jen from Passion Town.
That's right.
Yesterday, he calls me and he says, Tony, you have a fan named Diego from Maryland. Okay? And I said, okay. He goes, I'm going to put you on the speaker. He's here.
Oh.
Okay. And I said, okay. And he tells me, Tony, I'm a big fan. I'm from Maryland, by D.C., I guess he was saying.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, he goes, I'm a big fan. I watch Freaky Tales. I watch Rhodium Radio.
Yeah.
I'm a huge, huge fan. He goes, I came to Fashion Town because I've heard you mention it a lot on your podcast, so I needed to come see Fashion Town. So he was in the area, decided to look up Fashion Town, went over there and said, I'm a fan of Tony Ace, and the owner calls me.
That's dope.
Now think about that. This man has been blessed by this platform.
Yes.
Okay? And when you're blessed, you know what people do for you? They go out of their way for you.
They sure do.
I got people rooting for me that I've never even met. Because I truly do believe that I've been blessed to be a blessing, and I'm going to continue to do that. I'm about to be 57 next month, and I don't know how much time I have, but I will say this. They usually tell you that people, when they hit 50, you got about 20-something years left. Okay, now, I try to take care of myself. People say, I don't care how much water, how much food you eat healthy. I don't care how much you do, whatever, you're still going to die. You're absolutely right. I'm just not trying to speed up the process. I want to be here for my grandkids. You know what? I like breathing. I like being around, but there's going to come a time, where I'm going to have to hang on my cleats, say my farewells, and when you die, you see who you impacted by how they miss you. If you got fired from your job and nobody there misses you, you've never made an impact.
Wow. That's true.
It's when you leave that people say, wow, I was blessed by Tony. Tony, yeah, you encouraged me. Tony this, Tony that. And on the way up, Norbert, you know what people do?
Yeah.
Because they're not blessed. Maybe if you would stop hating, God will bless you too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could definitely relate to that. I mean, when I wasn't around here, I saw so many people that gave me love and support. It was incredible. I mean, it really made me feel that I did leave an impact, and it was very humbling that the amount of support I got, and I would never forget that kind of support.
Yeah.
I never felt it before.
Anyways, let's open up the phone lines. Okay, we got a couple of minutes, and go ahead and put the number up there. Okay, everybody. If you guys want to call in, go for it. Ask me a question. The topic is mirrors. Okay, you want to look at yourself in the mirror? Cool. I pray that your eyes are opened up spiritually, where you could truly, truly see yourself for who you truly, truly are. You can see a broken man. You can see a blessed man. You can see a horrible person. But the ultimate goal is to change all that around. For who? For yourself first, for your family, for your friends. You know, this mirror thing turned out to be a positive message.
I know, right?
Once again, 310-221-7360. The phone lines, you guys, if you guys want to call in, go ahead and make that call.
Freaky Tales is brought to you by Tony Vision.
Yeah, so but once again, Diego from Maryland, thank you for reaching out. Everywhere I go, the other day I went to the gym yesterday around 1 o'clock, and I stopped at 7-Eleven to get like a Gatorade type of deal, and I saw two Filipino kids. When I say kids, they were probably in their early 20s, and one guy said, "Hey man, you're that podcaster." I already know, talking about Rhodium Radio, whatnot. And they took a picture with me, and it's humbling, man, because I shake their hands. Some of them I give them a hug, and I just tell them, stay blessed, man. Oh, man, you're always so positive. You're always so positive. You know why? Because it's easy to be negative.
It really is.
It's easy to be negative. I don't understand how a person can just belch out so much hate and spew so much negativity. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me see. Caller, you're going to have to call back. Caller with the 208. Caller with the 208. Please call back.
All right. While you wait for that, I can read the poll.
Go for it.
Can a broken mirror bring bad luck? The options were yes, no, I don't know. We have 32%. And this is actually out of 180 votes. We have 32% that said yes. They believe in breaking a mirror brings you bad luck, and 27% said no. 41% said I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, fair enough. Okay, guys, we're going to take some phone calls. The phone lines are now open. Once again, 310-221-7360. If you guys want to call in and ask a question or share a freaky tale, call in right now. It's the time. If not, we're going to continue to conversate for a couple of more minutes and then just end the show. I really want to hear from you guys. Even I want to hear if you guys are first-time callers. That's what I really want to hear. And how did you hear the show? How did you hear about Freaky Tales? Because I truly do believe that Freaky Tales is still an undiscovered channel.
Definitely.
So, once again, we're going to take calls. If we don't get anything within the next 5 minutes, then we're good.
Hey.
So, thank you for that, guys. Other than that, Norbert, yes. Anything that you walked away with from today's episode so far?
I mean, aside from the mirror thing, I mean, it did bring up my thoughts on it. And, there's been a lot of freaky things that they've been showing. Have you seen the one where they turn around really quickly, but the reflection is still the same way staring at itself?
Yes. Okay, here we got this caller. Call it your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Aaron. Also, get to know I'm calling from Idaho.
Aaron, how are you from Idaho? How you doing tonight?
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I'm doing good, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm glad to hear from you. Do you have a question? Did you want to share anything?
I was just going to share a story real quick, if that's all right.
Go for it.
Mirror. So back like 12, 13 years ago, my wife and I was living in this apartment, and we met this chick, and she gave my daughter a bunch of her kids' old toys and clothes and stuff, And then with these toys was this purple mirror, and it was a Disney princess mirror, and it was motion activated. So whenever you walk past it, it would say one of the princesses. It had like 6 or 7 different princesses on there, and every time it was activated, it would say one of the sayings would go off, and it would say one of these sayings from the princess.
Yeah.
So we put it up there. We put it up in the doorway, in the walkway, so we could kind of monitor our kids, going past it and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
And one night, my wife and I were the only ones at the house, and my kids were actually at my mom's, and the mirror kept going off, and I'm like, what the hell? So it did this for about 2 weeks. I finally got sick and tired of it. Like, I even got to the point where I would sit in the front room and see, like, if it was like a reflection off of a mirror from the car driving by the front of the apartment building. And it wasn't that. It would just go off at random times. So I was like, I told my wife that night my kids were gone, I was like, I'm taking it off the wall. So I went in there, I took it off the wall, I put it in the closet. It sat there for about a week or so.
Yeah.
And it started going off again. I was like, what the hell? Like, I was getting really creeped out.
Yeah.
So I went in my kid's bedroom and I got that mirror and I took the back of it off. I was like, I'm taking the batteries out of it. It didn't have no batteries in it. We'd had the mirror for probably about 2 months at the time when I finally took it off. Like, it worked when we got it. My kids were too young. They wouldn't know how to change batteries and any of that stuff. Like, I went and threw it in the river. I'm not even lying to you. Like, it had no batteries on it. I put the back cover back on it where the batteries go. I threw it in the river, dude.
Wow. Well,
You know,
that is a freaky story.
I would have done the same. It would have messed me up that they showed right back at my house.
Oh yeah. Like, it was crazy, and it still makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up when I tell about that story, man. I tell you what, because it was one of the most creepy things that's ever happened to me, but not the creepiest. But
Right.
I'll save those for another call in another night.
And it happened to be a mirror too. Weird. Freaky.
Oh, yep.
All good, caller. Thank you, man, for taking the time and calling from Idaho.
All right, yeah, man. I just want to give a shout out real quick to Raider Rich. Thanks for referring me to this channel, bro. I'm glad you did. Thanks for me. Have a good night, bros.
Thank you.
Here.
Have a blessed one. Wow, that's pretty crazy right there. It didn't have batteries.
Well, I'm wondering, sometimes they have like these little dime-sized batteries as a backup.
Right.
I'm hoping for him, maybe it was one of those that he didn't see.
Right. Maybe that's the battery he was talking about.
And the other batteries were the ones for like the lights,
Yeah.
Maybe.
You never know. You never know, but he did the right thing.
I would have taken the whole thing completely apart, piece by piece,
just to kind of dissect it and see what it was, huh?
Yeah. Because I would have had that in my head. Maybe there's those little small batteries that keep going.
Now I do want to share something freaky. Okay, my grandbabies live with me, right?
Yeah.
The other day I was taking a nap. Okay, I want to say I took a very, very late nap because I was gonna work in here, work on some music. Okay. So I probably took a nap around 7 and woke up around 9. Now, my daughter had already put my grandbabies to sleep. When I got up, what happened was I checked them. I covered them, turned off the lights, went back and laid down for about another 10 minutes. When I laid down, this is what I heard. Their little baby feet. So I'm thinking, what the hell? Did I wake them up? Okay. I got up immediately. I turned on the light. They were still asleep.
Oh, crap.
Norbert, I heard their feet running out of the room. That really, really freaked me out, man.
Man.
And I looked and I checked them to see if they were asleep, and they were knocked down. Like, there's no way. So what I did, I didn't close my door more. I just left it open.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I heard. Lately, I've been hearing a lot of crazy stuff. Hearing a lot of crazy stuff.
Now, if I recall, this wasn't the first time you heard something there, right?
Right.
There was another time where you were sure somebody was in there.
Yes, that they were mocking me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's time to invite somebody to give a nice limpiada in the house.
Well, me personally, I wouldn't do that. I would just pray over my home.
Oh, okay.
But listen, the phone calls are slow today. I know it's a Saturday. I know people are out there having a great time. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and just end these phone calls, Norbert,
and making up for that Valentine's Day.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Because today's the Dia de la Sancha.
Oh yeah. You can't forget them.
Yeah, you can't forget that. You can't forget. Because even side dudes go through things too.
Hey.
Okay, let me see. Got this. Okay. Got it. Okay. We're off.
Yes, sir.
You guys, I want to thank everybody that tapped in tonight. I want to thank at least the one caller who did call in. Thank you for that. Do we have any type of super chats or anything?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
Anything worth mentioning before we head out?
No.
Okay. Tomorrow, I will be doing an episode on. For those of you guys that don't know, last week, today's Saturday. Yeah, I landed last Saturday from Houston, Texas. I was out there 4 days. 3 nights, 4 days, and I did 8 different interviews. I'm going to be releasing them on my other podcast, the Tony Vision page /Rhodium Radio. I interviewed artists that didn't have the budget to come out here, so I was flown out there by GoTo's to interview these artists. We're releasing our first interview of this artist, very controversial artist, on Monday. Tomorrow, this artist is from Houston, Texas. It's a woman. She was supposed to be on my interview over there, but because of conflicting schedules, she was going to New York. Out today, I believe she's in Bakersfield. She'll be here tomorrow. Somewhat of a controversial rapper. I want you guys to check it out. Go on over to Tony Vision, subscribe, hit the notification bell button. Tomorrow she will be live on Rhodium Radio. I know a lot of people say, hey, I thought you were retired. Well, I still got 2 interviews that I said I was going to bring you that are West Coast legends. I got my last guy already booked. I'm just waiting on the second guy that's lagging, and if he continues to lag, I'm just going to skip over him, get somebody else. But this is somebody that has made history here in LA, and he doesn't do interviews. But he told me yes, so I'm waiting on him. So other than that, you know what? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for everything. I want to thank my team. And go ahead, Norbert.
All right, so we have 2 super chats. Much love to you. First one's from 805 Plumbing. He says, Norby sucks on red M&Ms to color his lips.
Wow. How did they know that?
So that's how rumors get started. I've never tried that myself. I know with Skittles that happens. Have you ever that ever happened to you?
No.
Where you've had so many Skittles that.
No.
Okay. All right. I guess that's just me. Bear Yazi dropped $5. Says much love and respect, Tony. I don't always catch the live, but I needed to hear your words today.
Much love and much respect to you.
What's up? Heck yeah. And that is all of them.
Okay. Once again, I just want to thank my team. This week we're gonna go heavy in promoting Genesis's album that dropped yesterday. Forever Genesis, you guys know her from the live chat. Her album dropped. I think it's great. I had produced 1 song. She produced 98% of it. I only had a small portion to do with that. So I want to thank her for allowing me to be a part of that album today. She performed in front of her hometown crowd in Bakersfield along with Little Rob, Baby Bash, and MC Magic. Big concert, sold out. That's where I was supposed to be at today, but I'd rather be here because I like Freaky Tales. I love hanging out with you guys. But whenever she performs locally, I'll let you guys know, and maybe you guys can go catch her. She's got great music. Norbert, anything? We're good?
Shout out to TALEZ. Well, I don't know why you couldn't get through, but definitely next time, try again.
Yeah, absolutely. Next time. Thank you, TALEZ. All right, everybody. Thank you once again. Thank you all my Freaky Tale fans. Everybody is a fan of the platform. We are out of here. Tomorrow, I will be live at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Tony Vision. So make sure you guys tap in and support this up-and-coming female artist from Houston. Thank you. We're out of here.